Hello, my good people of the internet. Dan Tortora here with you in our conversation on Deadpool and Wolverine, a spoiler free conversation about the movie. So, happy to get in here with this with you inside of our Parker Banner, Kent and Wayne studios. That's once again Parker Banner, Kent and Wayne Studios. They are your home for all your comic book and gaming needs, located on 21500 Catawba Ave, Suite A in Cornelius, North Carolina. Just about 25 minutes from Charlotte, North Carolina, so just outside of Charlotte. Make sure you head over to Parker Banner, Kent and Wayne, PBKW for short. Let them know that Superpowered Pop sent you, or you could just say DT sent me. We appreciate you going over there. This edition of Superpowered Pop, Deadpool and Wolverine with no spoilers, folks. My promise to you, there will be no spoilers in this conversation. So, I've seen the movie now a couple times, and looking back on this movie, I'm going to give you, like I said, a bunch of things without spoiling any of the storyline or cameos or anything like that. We're going to do a separate video where I give you my spoiler review of the movie, where we give a breakdown of the movie itself and get into who was in it and all that good stuff. So, as far as the non-spoiler review, my thoughts on the movie: the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been in trouble. Outside, in my opinion, outside of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and Black Panther Wakanda Forever, a.k.a. Black Panther 2, there hasn't been any real movie since Spider-Man No Way Home to write home about. I think that, Ryan Coogler's passion project with the entire staff for Black Panther Wakanda Forever was great. I think James Gunn's potential farewell tour of working with the Marvel Cinematic Universe in Guardians Volume 3 was also wonderful. And since then, it's been kind of quiet on this Marvel front. So Deadpool, being someone who breaks the fourth wall, I think he did a great job of that. I think he did a nice job of telling the story of Disney and 20th Century Fox in this movie. That's not spoiling anything to you, because you know that Disney bought Fox. They bought back the rights to Deadpool, to Wolverine, to the X-Men and the mutants in general, to the Fantastic Four. They had already gotten back the rights to Daredevil and Daredevil's characters like Bullseye and Elektra, and they got back the rights before to the Punisher. So, looking at what they had to do to get Deadpool in their family, I think he did a good job of that. The movie was funny. It wasn't the forced funny. It wasn't the too much of trying to get you to laugh. It was really good moments of funny. So I will say the non-spoiler review of Deadpool and Wolverine is that Deadpool is obviously funny. There's other funny parts within the movie. I think the characters did a nice job. I can't say that anyone's acting was terrible. There's a question that I have about one of the characters, but that would give something away, so I don't want to do that. But I would say, as far as the look of the movie, it's by far the bloodiest movie that Disney/Marvel Studios has ever done. We go back to Thor 4, a.k.a. Thor Love and Thunder, which was such a crappy movie in the sense of it didn't really stay true to the characters. It didn't stay true to Thor. It didn't stay true to the God Butcher. So we really didn't see any blood. So, we really didn't see any gods being butchered. We saw one at the beginning who died off camera, which was and the blood was gold. So this is by far the bloodiest movie. I don't think that it takes anything away from the movie. As you can see in the box office here in opening weekend, it's making a ton of money. It was already doing great when it came out Thursday, going into Friday, and then you have to add in Saturday and Sunday for that opening box office weekend. So, the blood side of things, it wasn't grotesque. It wasn't too gory. I think the suits looked great. I think Wolverine's suit looked awesome. I think Deadpool's suit looked awesome as well. Like I said, the comedy was good. I think the story was good. It was not hard to understand and take in. It didn't seem forced. There's some of these Marvel stories recently that seemed forced, like you were needed to care about something where you're like, does this really matter in the grand scheme of things, or why would this make them go that far? I don't think that this story did that. I think the story was simple. I think that it was understood, and I think you knew why Wolverine was doing what Wolverine was doing. You knew why Deadpool was doing what Deadpool was doing. You knew why other characters were doing what they were doing. So, I thought that was good. Cassandra Nova's character, who in the comics is the twin of Charles Xavier, aka Professor X, aka the leader of the X-Men, who created Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters in my home area of upstate New York. So Cassandra Nova, I thought her power was great. She's one of the best villains we have seen in recent history in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm excited to get to know more about her and her threat level of power, which I think we saw some great things in this. And yeah, I think this movie referred back to the Disney Plus TV shows, but you didn't have to watch them to understand the TVA. You didn't have to watch them to understand Goliath. So I think what Deadpool and Wolverine did a good job of is, if somebody was coming over from 20th Century Fox and the first two Deadpool movies and didn't watch any of the Disney Plus shows and haven't watched the MCU or whatever, I don't think they were trying to figure out like who's Goliath, what is this TVA all about. So I don't feel like you needed to watch the Disney Plus shows to understand this movie. So that's another note going in. And like I said, the costumes were good. It was aesthetically pleasing. I don't think it looked cheesy at all. I don't think the graphics looked bad. I liked the twisted turns of the movie. I liked the really cool moments of cameos. I thought there were some really incredible moments that happened in the movie. And honestly, I wanted the movie to be longer. In this non-spoiler review of Deadpool and Wolverine, a.k.a. Deadpool 3, a.k.a. Deadpool and Wolverine's first time in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, breaking the fourth wall is a great way to tell a story. And with so many things that have happened in the last few years inside of the Marvel Studios realm in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, having a character who could break the fourth wall and explain things and talk to us about things that we wonder about and things that we've maybe questioned and things that don't make sense to us, I think is a really good way for Marvel to get its feet back on the ground and get some traction again. So I think having the character of Deadpool to tell the story about the ups and downs and around the corners of the Marvel Cinematic Universe recently was a really cool way to tell it. It didn't make him break character, and it helped us to feel like maybe Marvel is listening to us a little bit. So I thought having Deadpool be the character to speak on the kind of lull in Marvel Studios was good. Like I said, I think this, I don't know if I went too deep into this, but I think the storytelling was really good. I think the script was good. I think it made sense. And yeah, so from the comedy to the costumes to the CGI looking good, in my opinion, for the most part, to really from beginning to the end, you were in this movie. You understood the motives. You understood the history. It didn't bounce around too much. You knew when you were going back in time. You knew when you were in present day. You knew when you were going forward in time. And it connected back to Deadpool 2. And at the same time, it stood alone in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I think my spoiler review of this movie is really plain and simple when it comes to Deadpool and Wolverine. I think it was a well-told story by people that truly care about their characters. I'm happy that Ryan Reynolds was given the opportunity to play Deadpool. I'm happy Hugh Jackman was given the opportunity to play Wolverine. I don't think there's anybody better. I hope they never recast either one of these roles. I hope we see more of Deadpool and more of Wolverine in some way, shape, and form, as to not give anything away. But I hope that they never recast these actors, because Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool and Wade Wilson and Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. And I think the overall feel of this movie was, getting back to those movies where, you go with a bunch of strangers and you're watching this movie together in the same room and you're laughing together, you're getting excited together, you're reacting like, oh my goodness, together. And, the stakes are high again in this. So I think Deadpool and Wolverine was a necessity to the times of Marvel. I think Disney has made some choices in recent history that did not necessarily reflect the characters that they were telling the stories about. And I think that Deadpool and Wolverine really brings us back to where we need to be. So I got to say to Disney, to Marvel Studios, to Ryan Reynolds, to Sean Levy, to the work of Hugh Jackman, to everyone who is an executive producer and production and the extras and all of the actors and actresses, the screenwriter world, the lighting director, the grips, everyone that's worked on this movie. Honestly, this is a really, really good movie. It's a movie that I look forward to watching again. Like I said, I saw it twice on opening weekend. I have every intent to see it at least one more, if not a couple more times. So my non-spoiler review is the story is worth seeing. The graphics are worth seeing. The cameos are worth seeing. The storytelling overall and how things connect is worth seeing. Deadpool explaining what's going on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe these last few years is worth seeing. The connection between Fox and Disney, that through Deadpool's eyes and voice is worth seeing. And connecting Deadpool 1 and 2 to the MCU in a way where it doesn't discredit Deadpool 1 and 2 and it also doesn't confuse us why he wasn't in the MCU was a good job. So like I said, bravo. I thought it was good. I hope you go see it. My spoiler review is going to be coming up very soon, but this is a non-spoiler way for me to tell you what I saw, what I heard, what I took in, and what I understood from this movie. I have no complaints. So we'll discuss more in another edition of Superpowered Pop, proudly presented to you inside of the Parker Banner Kent and Wayne studios. Go see Parker Banner Kent and Wayne, a.k.a. PBKW, by heading out just outside of Charlotte, about 25 minutes outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. You'll find them on 21500 Catawba Ave in Suite A, there in Cornelius, North Carolina, your comic book and gaming headquarters. We'll talk with you soon, and as always on Superpowered Pop and beyond, know that your superhero lies within.